doing?
This is just we're just some friends,
Couple of pals
chilling,
here. Couple of
talking.
pals. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the In the Mix podcast, season 1, episode 1. It's our debut. My name is Jess McDermott, and I'm here with my co-hosts Renique Lucas and Jasmine McGuire.
Hi.
Yeah, we're first one, lined it up, dunking on them. I gotta stop throwing out the peace signs.
No, as many
Yeah,
as
I
we
love that.
want.
Your millennial
No,
is showing.
peace up, A-Town down. I know, and that's why I'm like, stop doing it, Jess, but I can't. It's so comfortable.
I was told I didn't make the cut, so I guess I can't do it.
Yeah, we have us a non-millennial. We have a Gen Zer on our hands. Is that right?
Barely.
I count it.
I don't
What
think
year
counts.
were you born?
97.
Oh, she's
It's like
right
right
there.
there.
It's right.
Right.
It's hard
Honorary.
because
Honorary.
yeah. My
Well,
friend Aurelia was born in 97 and she has all the millennial memories.
You know,
Just right
if you can,
there. So
older
yeah.
siblings,
if you know about Tommy Pickles' screwdriver in the diaper, then we can hang. We can kick it. Just I need to know that if you know the deep look, Renique. That look tells me now, and that's okay because we're here to learn from one another.
The way my Texas is set up, I think it was a regional issue.
It may have been, to be fair, and honestly, is Rugrats on like? Is that public? Because I did not have cable growing up. I was a
Rugrats everywhere.
PBS girl. All right, well, I don't know how I saw it then. But anyways, y'all. Since it's our first one, let's just like get to know each other a little bit. Not get to know you, but tell our listeners like who we are, where we're at. I'm Jess. I'm from Rochester. I'm currently streaming live from the 585, which is Rochester. Over to you, Renique.
I'm also in the 585, as Jess likes to call it. But also Houstonian. Yay. Because who doesn't like Houston?
Big Texas.
Mm.
And Jasmine.
Oh, hi. I am reporting live from the 310 in my car, which is from the 585.
Hey, she's our live scout.
Yeah.
News anchor out here in these streets.
Yep. Just,
Giving you
my
the tea
job.
straight up. That's right.
Mhm.
And you're doing an amazing job at that.
Thank you.
I trust
Thank
that. That would
you.
be my news channel.
Yeah.
J1 Live. Ooh, all right, so let's dive into it. Yeah, you're about to be squealing because this is going to take you twists and turns. This is about to be twisty.
I'm not ready.
All right, y'all. So this is like a topic close to my heart. So we're going to be talking about something a little spooky and a lot historic. Today, I'm going to be delighting you with the Frontier House. And you may say, what the hell is that? And that would be a fair statement. So to give you an overview, so what it is, it's this gorgeous building and it's nestled in the heart of Lewiston, New York. It's near Buffalo. It's like 10 minutes from Niagara Falls. The Frontier House it's a landmark building and it has truly stood the test of time because it was built in 1824. So this summer, 200 years old, y'all. Pardon. I hope I look that good when I'm 200, right? But before we get into it, before we get started, and I forget, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on whatever platforms you're listening on. There's so many, I can't keep up at this point, but I'll try. Follow us on YouTube and TikTok at ITMPOD. That's ITM Pod. And listeners are always welcome to send in requests to us at inthemixpod@gmail.com. And that's mix with 2 X's, MIXX. We like to keep it spicy. And this episode is also brought to you by yours truly, this think tank here. We're currently unsponsored, but I'm sure that's going to be temporary, y'all. So feel free to sponsor us. I'm looking at you, Alta.
Yes.
If only.
Oh, wait. I guess that means I need to learn how to do makeup and whatnot, huh?
Hey, lip gloss is key. Yeah. I tell you what, moisturizer's key, skincare. You don't need to do makeup. Ulta's is the temple. I love it. Anyways.
Don't
So
make me go
diving.
there today.
I know. Don't twist my arm. See, we're good. We're good sponsors for your Ulta. We'll just go and live stream there. Meet us at the Ulta. It's going down.
A little shopping trip. Wait a minute.
You know, right? That'd be so funny. Oh, I would just be like, don't look at me. I need it. Don't look at me. All right. So, well, let's dig into it. So the Frontier House, how it came to be, a little history lesson to get you warmed up. I love this. The history behind the house is that it's constructed, like I said, 200 years ago, excuse me. And it's located on Center Street in Lewiston. So that's like Main Street, basically a fancy Main Street, if you will. It was built as a grand inn and tavern, like, wow, back when those were a thing. I just can't imagine going to an inn and being like, y'all got a room? Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
by prominent businessmen of the time, Benjamin and Samuel Barton. I'm pretty sure they were brothers. I don't think they were husband and husband at that time. And Joshua Fairbanks. Fancy name. So this four-story behemoth was constructed from locally sourced stone from the, I can't pronounce this, and y'all forgive me. I'm thinking it's going to be more on the French side of things, but the stone was sourced from the Bay of Quinte. I might have made that a little Italian, a little Spanish, at the northeastern end of Lake Ontario. It's Quinte.
Yeah, I wonder if that is Spanish or French.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I'm sorry I didn't look it up. But Lake Ontario, and that's literally, it's a local lake for us. Like, I live near Lake Ontario. It's crazy. So 18 men worked 18 months laying the solid stone, guys. 30 inches thick, the walls. 30 inches thick. That's
No
crazy.
wonder it's still standing.
Right? Yeah. Yo, they don't build it like they used to. So imagine paying 18 men for 18 months straight to build. No.
I mean, what was it, like $1 a day back then?
Dang, girl. But I should have done the conversion for that. I bet you it was crazy. But 15 fireplaces. That was a fun fact I wanted to put in because 15 fireplaces.
I mean, when you
What?
think about it though, it's 4 floors. You got to keep warm.
Fair.
There's no heating. There's none of that. So like, you need one in almost every room.
15 fireplaces. Damn.
You're probably getting lung cancer though, all that smoke and whatnot.
Oof. Who's clean? You know, I could go on. Who's
I got
cleaning them?
questions.
Yo. All right. So it is still, it's an imposing structure. Like, it definitely draws your eye. It's one of those buildings you see and you're like, oh, that's old. I wonder what's going on there. Immediately I'm like, that's haunted. But it was an imposing building and it was fully expected to house like fancy folk like Governor DeWitt Clinton and other state officials who were coming into town, into Lewiston after the official opening of the Erie Canal, which we all know. It's kind of funny because they also named it Clinton's Folly, so pop off. But these officials would come and they'd stay at this building because it was built to entertain. It was very fancy at the time. And standing 4 stories tall, it was a rectangular shape. And so the chimneys were like on either side, like ears almost. And there's big oval windows and huge porch, like Jazz, think the Century Club porch, just big, wide porch. They call it full width porch. And the way it was built, it was characterized as federal style architecture. That one I did look up. So it's characterized by its symmetry, balance, classical detail. The style was developed in England by the Adam brothers and became popular in America between 1780 and 1840. So like immediately in the little bits and bobs of that, they were grabbing the vibes. So it was obviously inspired from Greece and Rome with like the pillars and all that. And the reaction was to get it more decorative and Georgian. So it was really like just ritzy, that kind of feel. And it really did host some like creme de la creme people. Not that I personally would rank them in that then, but like then it was that cool. But William McKinley, one of our presidents, pop off, writers like Charles Dickens, and countless other guests over its history.
Okay.
During this time in the 1800s, it would have 10 coach trains arrive and depart from the Frontier House Hotel daily, carrying other influential people. So it was like the place to be. okay, Frontier House. Like, and it was intended to be that. It was intended to be the finest of its kind between the bustling cities of industry, you know. So New York City, Niagara Falls was a huge hub of business. And it was supposed to be like a statement of prosperity to those heading west. It was really like manifest destiny, like, hey, look what you could be doing on your way. You get these like inspirational experiences. And its prime location made it a key stop for travelers heading west. Oof, it's just funny looking back now. A huge quantity of my life has been spent in Lewiston because that's where my dad grew up and he was raised in his family. And I truly did not even discover what the Frontier House was until I was a teenager, like clueless. And like I said, the building is gorgeous. It just draws your eye. So unbeknownst to me at the time, guys, I was a child, so like between 5 to 7 or 8-ish years old, but the place was freaking haunted. It was haunted. I literally had been inside of it and had no clue. To me, it was the fancy McDonald's with that OG PlayPlace. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Ick. And it had a backwards ass drive-through. So imagine a regular drive-through, flip that. So when we
wait.
yeah, try
So
and
this
wrap your head
fancy,
around that.
no. This fancy building now houses a McDonald's.
Not keep on. You gotta keep on listening. Gotta keep on listening, my girl. So, well, let me tell you. When I found out, it all changed for me one day. Like I said, as a teenager, when I was reading a book my dad got me called "Ghost Stories of New York State" by Susan Smitten. I'll include the book info in our show notes. And sidebar, my dad is definitely the reason why I'm so into the spooky and odd. That's on him. That's on you, Dad. Love you. But real talk, my Aunt Lolly, my dad's older sister, when she was a teenager, she worked at the McDonald's that was operating inside the building. I got an interview with her on that topic, but we'll hear more on that later. It's crazy. So anyways, back to the building. The building was a marvel at its time. It earned the nickname, and this is a dope nickname to get, the crown jewel of Lewiston. Like, that's fancy.
It does sound real fancy.
Special.
But like also, if people don't know what or where Lewiston is, it's like, okay.
Well, that was the era of the time. Like, the traveling westward was still like a new concept. Well, new enough that it was still not a like claimed, not super well claimed. The industry was happening, but it wasn't built up like it was in like the Iron Age. That sounds kind of crazy. Like, but Buffalo was huge for iron and all that, but it wasn't as busy. So everyone was like staking their claim. You could still buy waterfront property, like pop off. You know what I'm saying? And that was just the thing. So the hotel was maintained by its descendants, and it later turned into a private home. I don't know how you would maintain a 4-story house. Like, don't ask me. But George Rector purchased the inn and added the Frontier House restaurant half. So it's like this giant, it's like a compound almost. Yeah, it's big. So the daughters of Rector, they actually inherited the hotel back in the 1930s. And in the economic boom of the 1960s area, like I said, the factories were popping off in that time period. Think about like where we were in American history during like the 40s through the 60s. That was a bit tumultuous. And the Americans were really leaning into factory industry life because that was what, we didn't have technology like it is now. So that wasn't even a thought in their mind to focus on. It was like iron, steel, building stuff, chemical, all that. It was crazy. So in that boom, in the economic boom, Niagara Falls was welcoming at 11,000 folks, like just like at a steady rate, just people coming in, pouring in. And the Frontier House would rent its rooms to sleep like 3 to 4 people a night in a room, 8-hour shifts. That's so weird to me. I guess it's like a hostel, but they would sleep in shifts because of the growing demand of housing. So you're signed up like, okay, I get my 8-hour shift. Do y'all change the sheets? Do y'all switch it up? Like, I need a new pillowcase.
That's like the definition of renting a bed.
Yeah. And I'd hope it's not one bed. I don't know. Maybe it's bunk beds. Who knows? I am so glad I didn't grow up then.
Yeah, it's starting to sound real low class now. Like it
It's
was
sounding pretty.
here and now it's kind
This
of
is back when it was busing, though. This is back when it was busing, and
right,
they're like, we
right.
need a place to stay. This is the fanciest joint in the deal. So like, we'll do it. They wanted it. There was a demand, so they
But
met the
our
need.
shifts.
It was a growing demand for housing. So, but
I just
back in
hope I got to
June,
bed during the night shift.
yo, I want it when it's just the sheets have been freshly put on. I want it when you can still smell like the good soap. I want it then. And a nice
Mm.
cool fan if you don't mind. But yeah, back in 1964, Mr. and Mrs. James Russell of Buffalo. I wish we knew her name as well. Um, anyways, side note, Mr. and Mrs. James Russell of Buffalo, they renovated the hotel into a museum and restaurant back in the 60s. So not anything I saw,
60s.
but yeah, I don't know what kind of museum. I imagine during that era of construction. Anyway, so there were dining rooms, there's a ballroom, there's a Victorian parlor,
Cool.
and yeah, it's so cool. Early American bedroom styles were presented on the third and fourth floors, and they were both private levels. So third floor, fourth floor, private housing. And then bum, bum, bum. 1973 happens, September. The manager and the chef of the Frontier House were rescued in a fire. One dining room was destroyed, along with widespread water damage, because how do you put out a fire? 2 years later, the historic hotel of Lewiston's future was handed. Oh, wait, that sounds weird. Let me back up, y'all. 2 years later, the historic hotel was handed over to its future owner, William McDonald, who restored, kind of funny, who restored the interior and leased it to the McDonald's food chain. I wonder if there's any relation.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So listen to this. That was back in the 70s or whatever. McDonald's closed in 2004. So yeah, your girl been there. Your girl been up in it. Yeah.
This is
And
crazy.
right. So it closed in 2004, and the structure had been sitting vacant ever since. It's still vacant. It was acquired by the village of Lewiston in July 2013. It's still vacant. I'm pretty sure. I'll get into it. But now that you have the history, let's go a little bit deeper. Deeper. All right. So beneath its refined exterior lies a history steeped in legend, intrigue, and whispers of the supernatural. I had to be a little dramatic.
I mean, anything that old has some history stuff going on that they don't want anybody to know about.
Yeah, and honestly, fair on that. So here we go. It's more than just a piece of architectural history, y'all. It is a place where the past lingers. With a long history of ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena, it's earned a reputation as one of Lewiston's most intriguing sites. But here's the real tea. Okay. As with many historic buildings, the Frontier House has its share of ghostly lore, such a fun word. For nearly the 2 centuries it's been in existence, stories have just poured in of eerie encounters. They've just persisted from one generation to the next. So something tells me there's got to be some validity to that. Okay. So let me give you the deets. So it's believed to be haunted by a bricklayer named William Morgan, who opposed the Freemasons. We're going to have to do an episode on the Freemasons because I want to know your secrets.
Yeah.
But anyways, he was kidnapped and held behind the house until he was able to be imprisoned at Fort Niagara. That's like a big fort in the region for y'all listening. So hotel employees, back when it was running as like just an inn and whatnot, claimed doors opened and closed voluntarily. Ooh. Workers during the remodeling of the house for the McDonald's restaurant, found tools and other equipment disappeared before their eyes. No, ma'am. So like contractors would hear strange sounds and windows would open. I don't know why, but windows opening is so much creepier to me than doors opening.
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. I'm like,
It's just going,
y'all hot? Seriously, yeah,
No.
just like opening or maybe opening. I don't know. I've never
Oh,
opened those
yeah.
windows.
Maybe.
Either way, I'm not a fan. Also, whose bills y'all paying to be leaving the windows open like that? We're not paying to heat outside with our 15 fireplaces. I digress. So where was I? Okay, so the window's opening by themselves. Good God. And the ghost of an elderly man was purportedly seen in the pantry and an employee showering
A
in the residence.
pantry.
Girl, yeah. So you like open the door, person. It's a no. It's a no from me. Okay. And then where was it? An employee showering in the residence alleges you got to cite them sources to have seen the silhouette of a woman. But actually, remember that little thought right there. Seeing a silhouette of a woman. Hang on to that. There's a theory that while the structure was being built, one worker fell from the third floor into the basement. So basically like 4 stories almost, and died, as you can imagine. Legend
Probably
says, yeah, right? And legend says, I swear if any of my colleagues did this, legend says that 2 of his fellow workers stuffed them into a stone used to build the wall of the basement to cover up the evidence. I swear.
why.
Now I'm worried, like, okay, was this really an accidental fall, or
Right.
did homie get pushed?
They wanted his share of the cut.
They
I
wanted
don't
his
know.
dollar for the
It is.
for the
Look, they
It's
kids
the
gotta eat too.
frontier. Yeah, exactly. That's why they named it the Frontier House. It was during the frontier, the Wild West. And we're Western New York. So yeah, think about it. Think about how far we are from the
Okay.
actual coast.
Can
Whatever.
I piggyback really quick?
Please.
Last night went to this I had these, and so I stopped at this Denny's, and it was in a plaza, and the whole plaza was like giving very much like Western theme. Like there's a little stagecoach car, and like each store was like the writing was Western style. And I'm like, what are we in the is it Western town? I was like being sarcastic. I'm like, what are we in the West? And I was like, oh, we are in the West.
Awkward.
I took the record skirt.
I was like, oh, but yeah, it's crazy.
No, that makes sense though, because that's not our norm. Like,
Oh,
what? Why y'all got all that? I would expect that where you are, but like here,
it's just
what do you?
crazy
Yeah,
that
unexpected.
Lewiston was probably like like you were saying, it was like people probably went through there on their journey to the West, and
it's crazy.
that's probably the furthest west a lot of people have been.
Yeah, I'm not built for it. If I were in that time period, I'm sure I would be acclimated to those circumstances, but like, I'd be like, yeah, just leave me by the coast. All right. I'll hand out pamphlets to those getting here and looking to go where you're going, but I'll just like hold down the beat. I'm ambitious, but like I know my limits.
Yeah.
But let me see here. Where did I lost my place. Oh yeah, they buried their homie, their colleague, a wall. How is that? That is not cash money whatsoever. But now remember what I said. One of the most enduring legends, though, is that of Rebecca, a young woman who worked at the inn during its early days. Rebecca was said to be full of life, her laughter ringing through the halls. Kind of sounds a little annoying, but I'm not going to like hate on her. She was probably having a good ass time as she tended to the guests. But her story took a tragic turn when the man she loved broke her heart. Rebecca is said to have taken her own life by leaping from one of the upper floors. Oh, retrospective trigger warning. I'm sorry.
So he wasn't worth it.
He wasn't worth it. So since then, visitors and staff have reported seeing a ghostly figure. Jazz, ooh, this one's gonna scare you. That matches Rebecca's description. Like I said, remember, they saw a silhouette of a woman, often near the staircase or in the dimly lit corners of the building. No, not for me. Some
and I'm thinking like they probably walked around with like candles and whatnot, so there were a lot of shadows around.
Oh, dude, I forgot. I still am a little
forgot about that.
I'm a little still afraid of the dark, like because my brain just is very creative. It goes places.
Yeah, you're like, huh?
Like there is a weird person behind my shower curtain. I can't be the only one.
No, you're not.
Oh, dude. All right. So now, since then, since Rebecca's untimely end, visitors and staff have reported seeing a ghostly figure that matches Rebecca's description, often near the staircase or in those dimly lit corners. And some claim to feel a sudden chill in the air or hear the faint sound of weeping when they're alone. That's horrifying.
So buddy
Others,
system.
oh, definitely, definitely. Others have seen doors close on their own or objects move inexplicably, as if guided by an unseen hand. And so is Rebecca still wandering the halls, still searching for her lame-ass boyfriend? No shade to Rebecca.
No shade. No shade.
We'll
girl.
never know. She may still be searching for her lame, and that's okay.
I mean, maybe she's really trying to get him back, like get back at him. So she
Girl,
gotta creep out everybody who come next.
let them know.
This is really revenge.
Don't play no games. We don't mess. Ooh, poor girl. But that's not where it ends, y'all. Another spooky tale is about, of course, a phantom bartender. Okay. Often seen late at night when the tavern was still operational, those who've seen him describe him as a man dressed in 19th century attire, meticulously wiping down the bar. I imagine it's like really getting in there,
Oh my God.
you know, and as if prepping for guests. Man, can you imagine dying and becoming a ghost at work? I'd be like, of all the places, put me in like a Krispy Kreme, like conveyor belt, like put me somewhere where I can just be at peace, like really sent out, like just take a hot donut any day I can. But anyways, I can't imagine becoming a ghost at work. But anyways, he's said to vanish without a trace when approached, leaving behind that faint smell, you know, when like somebody smokes a cigarette, that faint smell of tobacco smoke. So you're like, what the hell? And there's no smoking around. Like, that's spooky. And then, of course, there's those weird unexplained occurrences of like, where did I just put that checkbook? And it's like moved to the other side of the bar, and you hear the lights will flicker without a reason, and there's like that occasional like sound of footsteps echoing in empty rooms. Some believe it's some of the restless spirits who stayed at the Frontier House and are just still unaware that their time has come to an end.
Did people
Others,
die in that?
oh girl, yeah, those people, the guy that fell from the thing and got his colleagues did not give it one hell.
Like people staying there. You know?
I imagine, because it's the West, the Wild West, I'm sure. We'll get into it. But, you know, others believe what's causing the paranormal activity was simply Grimace and the Hamburglar squatting. I'm sorry, it didn't land, but it made me laugh.
Hamburger squatting.
The Hamburglar.
She making a McDonald's reference.
I was. Thank you, Renique. But yeah, so that spooky history on top of the 200-year span of its existence is just rife with the spookiness happening. And speaking of which, moving on, it's interview time. We're excited to have the wise words of my close personal friend, my Aunt Laura, aka Aunt Lolly. My aunt still, yeah, that's the homie. If you know, you know. Shout out to Aunt Lolly. She actually still lives in Lewiston, and in fact, we walked by the Frontier House last weekend during their art festival, and that's when I was like, it's still empty, and I took a picture outside of it. I'll have to like show it to y'all. It's a spooky building. So she was kind enough to answer 9 of my top questions pertaining to her own experience working within the building when it was a McDonald's, y'all. Okay, so this is going to be a little fun. It's going to be a little role play. Renique's going to be me. She's going to ask the questions, and I'm going to be my Aunt Lolly and answer.
Love this.
I'm going to try and like embody her true goddess
Is she
energy.
the one? No, someone in your family likes your red nail polish and used to wear red nail polish. Who was that? And like you showed her your nails and she was like, "Oh, honey, the red is."
It might have been my grandma.
I think it was your grandma.
Because she saw the blue nails I had when I was younger and was like, "Looks like you're dead."
God.
Oh,
Love her.
That's my dad's mom. So Aunt Lolly's mom. What's up,
Love
Jody
it.
Bear?
Aunt Lolly's mom.
My grandma. All right,
Love
Renique,
it.
so let's do it.
all right, all right. Let's see if I still know how to read. I'm getting
Okay.
old.
I hear you there.
Okay. So, Aunt Lolly,
Yes.
can you describe what it was like to work at the Frontier House McDonald's? What was the atmosphere inside the building?
It was kind of like when you go to a place like Williamsburg, but with a modern twist. The walls were either stone and had the look of an old Southern mansion. Ooh. But the rooms all had the modern, well, 80s modern tables, floors. They were modern ceramic tiles for easy cleanup, of course. It was a neat mix between old and new. Our uniforms were black and white check dresses. Oh, how fun! And a white cap for the girls. The boys wore a black and white vest, black and white checkered vest with black pants. Okay, pop off.
Wow. Colorful.
I don't know. I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
I want to see.
Right. She got pictures.
I'll have to check.
Okay. Okay. So, were there any parts of the original structure or decor that were preserved or highlighted within the McDonald's? Like, were any of parts of the building off limits or particularly interesting?
The walls and the outside structure were kept the same or similar to what it might have been originally. No one was allowed upstairs. That access was completely locked. The children's birthdays were held in the basement in this room that had some stone walls. Stone walls, kind of like a little nook. That was cool. Storage was also in the basement. I never went down there at night alone. Creepy stories in a little birthday room was dark then and well creepy. Ew. I added the ew.
I don't know how I feel about throwing the kids in the basement.
I wish you could say you guys, your faces are making me just. The kiddie
Okay.
party's in the basement. In the creepy dark
No.
nook.
Okay, complete side note. That
No.
reminds me of that scene in Daddy Daycare where they were trying to find a new place for their son to go to daycare, and they went to this one house and they had the kids like in like this basement looking chicken coop thing. Terrible.
Jesus.
Anyhow,
Chicken coop.
flashbacks, I tell you.
Now I gotta watch
Oh, it's great. Eddie Murphy was a good time.
that.
So can you describe any unique challenges or quirks of working in a historic building like the Frontier House?
You couldn't change the structure of the building, so the drive-through was backwards. I told y'all. You drove up and the window was on the passenger side of the car. You delivered the food in a basket through the window. So like they'd put it in a basket and they'd like kind of like, the best I can describe is like a pizza oven kind of deal where you'd put something on a stone and slide it in. It's kind of like that.
What year
Oh,
was it?
wait, like the old bank things, kind of, right? They had like a little thing that opens up and pushes
But there
out.
was like, it was like a, how the pizza thing had
Oh,
like
it was
a
like on like a
handle
stick
to
type
it.
thing.
Yeah,
Got-
pretty
okay,
much.
okay.
You delivered the food in a basket through the window. Storage was downstairs, so a lot of up and down to get supplies. Okay, glutes. The caged playground was neat, and kids seemed to love it. I was kids.
Cage?
It was like netted, not caged.
Okay, okay.
Enclosed, if you will. Enclosed. Caged. Damn it, Renique.
Okay, so did you or any of your coworkers ever experience anything strange or eerie while working there?
I never experienced it, but there were stories that the upstairs was haunted, and some coworkers heard things going on upstairs when the restaurant was shut down for the night. Yo,
I mean, it
Like
was off limits
footsteps?
for a reason.
they knew.
Like footsteps?
Yeah, footsteps and like probably the soft crying.
Right, because
Hearing
Rebecca's still out here
footsteps?
sad.
Yeah,
Hearing
upstairs.
footsteps above you when no one's up there, I'd have to quit.
So
I'd have to-
spooky. So spooky.
I mean, I've quit a job for less, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
amen.
So, did you hear any stories from other employees or locals about the building's past or any supernatural occurrences?
Just some stories about people dying in the old Frontier house. Ooh, see,
I
Jess?
mean,
Whoa.
it happened. We all know what happened.
Mm.
So, what was your favorite part of working at the Frontier House McDonald's?
It was a different atmosphere than the regular McDonald's. Mm. It felt special and neat to work there. Even the uniforms were different and kind of cool. Even if you always smelled like French fry. And to add on that, if you know, you know, I worked at Burger King when I was 16. And you
That
do smell
oil.
like it. Yup.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What years did Aunt Lolly work? Like what time frame was
The
it? I might have
80s,
missed that. The
early
80s. Okay.
80s,
Okay.
early 80s.
Interesting.
And she was
Interesting.
gorgeous. She is gorgeous. So if you could, I imagine she's just like slaying in this uniform, her little dress with her little hat,
Yeah, checkered.
with
Stop.
these
So
dynamite blue
cute.
eyes, with her hair. She'd be like, ah, what kind of
Wait,
sauce do you want?
Halloween
Oh,
costume.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to custom order. I think I know someone who could do it. Wink. All right.
How did the building's history as a historic inn impact your perception of working there?
Again, it was cool to say you worked there and added a little mystery to the job that there might be ghosts upstairs.
The gag is the ghosts are everywhere.
The gag is they everywhere.
So, are there any specific memories or stories that you've carried with you over the years from your time at the Frontier House?
It was fun first job. People were great. The cookies were awesome back then. We would get tour buses and people were always amazed at how cool it was that there was a McDonald's in this old building. I concur. I remember it being, like I said, the fancy ass McDonald's. I was sad when it closed down.
I'm honestly surprised it closed. Like, not many McDonald's ever actually close. You see them popping up, but you'll
yeah.
never see them going out of
No.
business.
Well,
Yeah.
Lewiston is like super historic and it's kind of bougie. Sorry, not sorry. I love it. But it's just like the historicness behind it that makes
Mm,
it so like, hey, we don't need a McDonald's. We're cool enough.
mm,
Maybe that's the vibe.
I can see that. So, would you ever revisit the Frontier House? And if so, what would you be most interested in seeing or experiencing?
Absolutely would visit it again. And I'd love to see if my memories of the place were remotely close to what the reality is. It was a really
Mm.
cool building, and you could feel the history in it, even though it had been updated to a house and then a McDonald's restaurant.
Wow.
Yes, thank you, Aunt Lolly. That was
Right? She was
so
out
cute.
here.
Yeah, you were out in these streets,
I can like
dabbling in the
see it.
community.
I can visualize, the place, you're being there,
Yeah, and like
you're doing
peeking
your
around
job.
corners.
Yeah, every now and then you're like, okay.
It's
Ooh, so
given
what do
like
you,
mausoleum vibes.
that's honestly, oh my gosh, wait till you see the photo of it. It looks
I looked it up
kind
while you
of,
were talking.
oh, it's kind of mausoleum-y. It's just very like, it has a presence to it. That's what I can
So
say.
much stone.
Yeah, lots of stone. Listen, those are 30-inch thick walls. Like that
At
is not
least they
going anywhere.
were.
At least they were. We don't know what they're doing.
A little
Um,
erosion, little this and little that.
little of this, little water. Um, but today, the Frontier House is both cherished. Like I said, it's very historical in Lewiston. It's a cherished historical site and a source of intrigue for those drawn to the mysterious, like us.
Mhm.
And the building's architectural beauty is a reminder of that craftsmanship of the era, like that handmade, true handmade, and the vision of its creators. And its long history is a window into those lives who shaped the early days of Lewiston. I love it. I love Lewiston. It's just such a part in my heart. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us in the mix. I had fun telling y'all about the spooky place that I hold near and dear.
Very spooky. I want to visit one day. We should totally like go there and do a little follow up, do a little, see what we
A
could
little
find.
I
case
don't know
the
if I want to
joint.
go or not.
It's cute.
You
We'll go
you can
visit my
go.
aunt.
We'll
You can see
we'll keep
her
you
her
safe.
I
compound
mean,
of
it's
craft.
closed, so like we can't even have like the spooky experience of walking around inside.
Oh,
It's
whoa,
close.
you forget that it's right on Main Street and there's so many fun shops and like little historic buildings and Deacon Mello's Bakery. Shout out Deacon Mello's. We could go and get some yummy goods. They got gluten-free, I'm pretty sure. They got something.
I'll
I
be
don't
Girl.
know
happy walking
actually.
around outside. We
It's
don't need to go inside.
beautiful.
We could just walk around
And it's
outside.
you can look down at the water. Like that's how close it is.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I
Have like a
love
little
that place.
historic photo shoot, just walking through history.
That's right. It is
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It is crazy how like in Salem they still have like the houses in the middle of their like downtown. It's so crazy. So I'm
Yo.
sure a frontier house probably looks similar, standing in history, but like in the middle of,
Unchanged. It's
yeah,
outside is unchanged. And a lot of the inside.
it's so interesting. Are the
Yeah. So
streets? It's on Main Street.
mhm.
Is
Center
it
Street.
still cobble? Is it still cobbles or brick or whatever?
No, but it is fancy. They have brick accent
Like a
on
little
the
trendy
sidewalk.
trunk. Hmm.
Yeah.
On the
Very
Like,
fancy.
sidewalk?
yeah,
Okay.
like a little something, but they really do embrace their history. It's
Mm.
just, it's so cool. It's so neat. I can't wait to show
I feel
y'all.
like New York in general really embraces their history, which is really cool to be a
Hmm.
part of. You can go a lot of places and find a building that's been standing there for hundreds of years and maybe you didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
No, it's really cool. Really cool.
Susan B. Anthony and Frederick Douglass are buried across the street from where I'm at right now. Like that is
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
so
And I've been to their graves, not to
so
be morbid,
wild.
but yeah, I've been there. It's just
Yeah.
fascinating to me, the
Oh
history
my God,
behind.
Susan B. Anthony, her
Yes,
grave this
girl.
November is gonna be like overflown with
Come on,
stickers.
Harris.
It's
Come
gonna
on,
be
girl.
white.
I'm so
I
excited.
feel bad for whoever had to clean it.
I did stick my sticker on I think they have a sticker on something else, or maybe I did stick it on her grave. I can't remember, but it was the last vote. Thank God Joe won. But I'm not gonna get into my politics and whatnot. But I will say, remember to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on whatever platforms you're listening on. Yes. Follow us on YouTube and TikTok at ITM Pod. And as always, listeners are welcome to send in any requests to us at inthemixpod at Gmail. Again, that's mixed with 2 X's. And speaking of spooky, tune in for our next episode hosted by Jasmine. She's going to fill us in on the strange entities and LA oddities she's experienced since landing there back in last November. Yeah,
Very scary,
so
very scary.
very
But
scary.
very interesting. This is kind of random, okay? Why don't we
Mm.
do since you told your spooky story, why don't we do a spooky FMK? Would that be fun? Can I say the
Yeah.
words? Are we
Fuck yeah.
okay? We're fuck Mary Kill. We're gonna do a fuck Mary
We do
Kill.
cuss on this podcast. Sorry, everybody. Have your kid,
We
had your
do cuss a
wives.
little bit.
Cuss a little
A little
bit.
bit. All right, so Brittany. All right, we have Charles Dickens.
Wait. We got to save that for next time. And then until next time, I'm Jess
Oh,
McDermott.
Wait,
with
wait, wait,
Brittany.
wait, 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 wait. We can hear the options though, and then we'll just
Okay. To tantalize our listeners. Go for it,
um,
Jess.
wait, that's a good idea. Why don't we wait?
We'll talk off air.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Well, until then, I'm Jess McDermott with
Me, Renee Lucas.
And Jasmine.
and this is In the Mix podcast. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.